Hello everyone. Again, this is the Excel sheet that you can use if you want to track your expenses. For Z and I, we use apps like iMoney and Spendy to track our expenses, and then we just input it into an Excel sheet so that all of our finances, the cash flow, cash in and out would be in one place. But let us just show you how to use this Excel sheet. So on the first sheet, you'll find the summary. So this one's in green because you don't have to input anything on it. Everything is automatic because we have included the formulas. So we put the formulas here. That's why it's already automatic. Okay, so this will automatically compute for your expenses and your cash in and your cash out. Now for your cash in, you have to type it here in your cash in sheet, and for the cash out you have to input in the cash out sheet. I will show it to you later. Now for the next sheet, it's the visualization. So Z and I um, found out that it's easier if you know like the graph or the comparison of your cash in and out within a month. So and then compare it to your previous months. So this is on a monthly cash in and cash out, and then your cash out can also be divided into the different categories, so it will be easier for you to look at let's look at the pie, or how big you're spending on entertainment, on bills or transport or whatever it is. Now for the cash in, this is the simple tool that you can use. So we put an income source 1 to 5 because we're not really sure like the sources of your income. For example, if your main source of income is fixed, if you are employed, let's say you're employed full-time, then you can just put here your income source 1 will be full-time work. Okay, and then you just put your incomes. For example, your income is 25,000 a month. There, so it automatically computes. You can find here the summary for the month, and then you can find here the summary for the year. Okay, so let's just say you were let's put it as 25,000, and then in June, let's say you were promoted, so it's 30,000. Yeah, so as you see, as you notice, it auto computes. And then let's say you are earning dividends from your investments. Although we don't have the dividends form here, but then let's say you have another tracker for your dividends. Let's just say you're earning 10,000 a month, or for January you earned 10,000 for your dividends, so you just put it there. Then for February it went low a bit, so let's say 7,500. Yeah, so as you notice, it auto computes. Okay, so that's your earning for your dividends, and then you have here your earning for the entire year. Okay, so that is how you use this cash in sheet. Let's say you have property or rent, then you can just put it there. Let's say you're earning, property is high right now, so let's say 40,000. I don't know. Yeah, so in total you're earning 75,000 a month, and that would automatically go to the summary sheet. And then for your cash out, you just have to put the date. Let's say for January, let's say 110. So January 10, choose the category. So we put the category here, things that you can use and we usually use. So for example, it's the bills. Let's say Meralco. Oops. And then let's say your its amount is 2,000. There. So if you notice, that will go here to the bills and fees part. Okay, so it automatically computes based on the category that you put. Now, the last sheet is for a fixed income tracker. So I don't use this sheet now because I'm a contractual worker for a government agency. So it's not the same as when I was teaching at a private high school. And I used this sheet actually when I was teaching at the private high school. It looks a lot of different because there are some components of our salary that are different. But then just have to uh, tweak it a bit. Okay, so for example, your base income is I put it here bi-monthly because usually you get paid twice a month, on the 15th and the 30th. During my experience, it was the 10th and the 25th. So feel free to edit that part. So all of the white ones you can feel free to edit. And the green one has a formula, so it's up to you to edit it. But you can just email us if you want to, if you're having a hard time to edit it. So for the base income, let's say per month, per cutoff, you're earning 14,000, and then you receive, because there you receive your allowance for the second cutoff. Let's say 1,000. This allowance is for like meal allowance. They usually give it to you like that in addition, so that you don't, it's not part of your taxable income, I think. But then there's a change, right, in the government computation. And then you may have overtime pay. So let's say 2,000 for overtime pay. You're working very hard, and you had sick leave pay. So that's so that you can track your sick leave too. So let's say you're earning 800 a day. So that will be your sick leave. However, you have to deduct it as well. So you have to put negative 800 because it just cancels each other out, because you won't be paid for it, right? So if you're also absent, you can just deduct it here in the deductions. But since you have the sick leave, it was offset by the sick leave credit. So you can also, I use this because I track my sick leave, because I'm a fair believer that you should use all of your sick leaves and you earn more if you use all your sick leave than just leaving it by the end of the year for the cash incentive. And then you can also put here your pag-ibig contribution, SSS, and your health card if you have any. So this is your gross income, which is your total income for that particular cutoff. If you're at pag-ibig here, and then let's say SSS 200, then you contribute 300, it deducts. So this one deducts the total from your gross income. So that will now be your taxable income, because this one is PhilHealth, sorry. Okay, so because this one, it's less to your gross income before they tax it. So if you have other deductions, you can write it here. And if your company auto computes for your tax, it's good to write how much they deducted from you for your tax, because at the end of the year they file your ITR and there might be discrepancies. So just so you have a record as well. And then at the bottom, so everything auto computes, and then once this ones are, these two rather, were deducted, you can get the net income. And at the bottom of the part, you have your bonuses. So on this part, it's not yet that settled, because as I said, I'm a fixed income, I'm a contractual worker, so my taxes are a bit low, and we compute it at the end of the year. So for these bonuses, usually these are the 13th month pay, um, other allowances like cooking allowance, which comes on a year. These ones are the ones which come on a yearly basis. Like if you have a Christmas bonus, you put it here, then it will add up. So just a note that the limit is 90,000. I mean, of course, you can earn bonuses more than 90,000, but then the non-taxable bonus is pegged at 90,000. So if you earned 100,000 from your bonuses, the 10,000 will already be taxable. Okay, so for this one, the gross income auto computes. As you notice, this one, this column, yeah. So this auto computes, and then lastly, this is your net income. Okay, so this is wrong. This should be H34. I'm so sorry. And then this is your net income, which is basically this one, this part. Your bonuses, as of now, you don't have, so let's say 500. Oops, oops, oops. Okay, so there was an error. Okay, yeah. So you just have to change this one. Sorry. Okay, we'll change it now. Yeah. Okay, so as you see, your bonus is 500, and it will total to your yearly income. Again, this is what it would look like in the summary page, and this is what it would look like in the expenses or in the visualization page. So if you notice, your cash in is would be the blue one, and your cash out would be the orange one. And this is a breakdown. Since we only put the bills and fees as of the moment, it only has the orange, but then you can see the distribution of your income or how you spend. Just a quick run through of your expenses breakdown. So we put here bills and fees, car, education, entertainment, which would involve Netflix subscriptions, movies, or things you do for hobbies, food, your groceries, things like that, gifts, especially right now when we donate. I hope you're donating a lot to good causes. If you have extra money, then you can file that under the gifts part, the donation, and also the gifts you spend. Like you um, um, spend for a gift for your family members, or you treat them to lunch, something like that. You can put it there. Healthcare, if you have a HMO you're paying every month, you can put it there. A home expense, shopping for the clothes, shoes you don't really need. So this one is something that you have to really track. Then transport, if aside from the car, let's say once you go to using Grab, Angkas, which you cannot do at the moment, but yeah, you get the idea. Then travel is the portion where you spread for your traveling, and then under this travel, you can also track like accommodation, things like that. So that can go here once we can all go out of our houses. Then work. Although they say that you do not have to spend for work, we all know that you sometimes have to spend for work, like for your supplies and things like that. So we put it here. Or also if you have like like gifts, I'm not sure how it goes, but then when every time someone has a birthday, you pitch in 200 and you give the birthday celebrant money, so you can put it there. Then others that are not part of the ones above can be put in others for the categories. And for the savings, we put it under expenses because again, we're tracking your cash flow. We're making sure that you're not in debt. So we put it under savings. So for example, let's say this is your actual cash flow. You only spent 2,000 for the month of January and you have 75,000. So your savings should be at 73,000, right? So that it will not go beyond. And then lastly, your insurance. So your insurance is under here because it's spending for the present so that in the future you don't have to worry about anything money wise. Okay, so we put it under expenses. So again, savings will just be should be what is the money that you put here or the difference of these two. Okay, so this will not be part of the cash out. Okay. Yeah, so again, this is the sheet that I used or that we usually use for putting everything in, like computing for all of our cash in and cash out. But then for the cash out, especially for expenses, Z and I use apps because it's easier to track through app. Again, when you listen to the podcast, we recommended iMoney and Spendy. I can put my Spendy Pro code so that I'm not sure if there's any benefit, but you can also use my code um, for Spendy. But we're not sponsored by iMoney nor Spendy nor Microsoft Excel. We're just sharing what we know about tracking your finances. So I hope you learned something about it. If you want to reach out to us, you can do it at Instagram at brokenomorejfl or email us at brokenomorejfl@gmail.com. Thank you very much and hope you listen to our podcast. We're dropping a new episode every Friday. We do our best to drop a new episode every Friday. So again, this is Broke No More, your companion towards spending for a just, humane, and sustainable world. We hope that you put your money where your heart is.